Hi guys, for those of you that are new to following me, then welcome. For those of you that have followed me over from Instagram onto YouTube, welcome back. This is your full moon in Aries reading. We will be experiencing a full moon in Aries on Thursday, the 1st of October 2020. Please note that the energies are interchangeable. They are not gender specific. Please take what resonates and discard the rest. I would like to just put in this little disclaimer. I am not an astrologist. I'm in fact an intuitive tarot reader, but I do understand that astrology does impact our thoughts, our emotions, and our patterns of behavior. So without further hesitation, I will begin. This reading will commence in two parts. The first half will be an in-depth look at the most prominent astrological aspects that will be affecting us during this full moon. The second half of the reading will be where I actually pull cards that tell us what the energies are and how we can harness those energies and what we can do. So there'll be a ritual that you'll be able to do at the end of this reading. Now, what's really interesting is when we add up the numbers, 1, 1, 2, and 2, it gives us the number 6 because 0 does not carry any value. 6 within numerology represents balance and represents harmony, which echoes the energy of the season that we're currently in, which is Libra season, which is governed by the planet Venus and is representing the element of air. So for me, this particular full moon is going to have a lot of prevalence simply because of the fact that a lot of us are going to be focusing on truth, justice, peace, as well as creating balance. So anything that doesn't quite fit with our ideals of us stepping into our authentic selves will be removed. The full moon is very significant because it represents a time to release. Moon energy is divine feminine energy in which we are invited to confront our emotions that are deep within our subconscious, emotions that we may have repressed, emotions that we may be unaware of. The fact that this is going to be a full moon in Aries is going to be very significant simply because of the fact that Aries represents the first zodiac sign. Aries also is the ruler of the first house within astrology, which deals with ourself, our identity, and also our ego. But the zodiac sign of Aries within the first house in astrology also talks about our goals. So what it is that we desire and what we're aiming for. Now, what's really interesting is when we're looking at Aryan energy, it is very much masculine energy. So it's about authority, it's about control, it's about confidence, determination. It also, when we're looking at the shadow aspects of Aries, deals with things such as impulsive behavior, anger, aggression, and impatience. So therefore, we may be experiencing some of the shadow aspects of Aries simply because of the fact that we are already in a Mars retrograde, and Mars is the ruler of the zodiac sign Aries. So when we have a retrograde season, the retrograde season forces us to go within, to look at ourselves internally. So this is not necessarily a time for action, but actually a time for rest and contemplation. And I also believe that with this particular full moon, this is going to be a sign that we need to take towards doing deeper healing on a subconscious level. Now, what's really interesting as well about the Aryan full moon is Aries is a cardinal sign. So it represents the start of a new season. And this is ironic simply because of the fact that the sun is currently in Libra. So Libra season is also a cardinal sign. Libra is a cardinal sign, meaning that we're moving into a new direction, new beginnings. So it's echoed both with the moon's positioning and also with the positioning of the sun. Now, what I've also seen is that the sun is going to be entering Libra, or is already in Libra, at 9 degrees. The moon enters Aries at 9 degrees on the 1st of October. So we've got the double 9 code that has been activated. Now, 9 is a karmic number, and the number 9 is symbolic of completion. It's symbolic of wisdom, compassion, and also creativity, because when we look at the birth cycle, particularly with humans, they experience a gestation period of 9 months. Now, what's really interesting is that the sun is directly in opposition of the moon. So for me, this is about balancing out both the masculine and the feminine energy. Now, Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus is a feminine energy. And Venus is very significant simply because of the fact that it not only governs beauty and health, but it also governs love, and it also governs money. So this is going to be quite significant, particularly if we already have goals or desires to be able to attract or find ideal romantic partnerships, or to be able to attract money towards ourselves, whether it's in the pursuit of money within employment or within the context of business or entrepreneurship. The sun is the epitome of masculine energy, and Libra provides the balance simply because of the fact that with everything that we have a universal law of polarity which governs that we need to have both in order for harmony to be activated. Now, this particular energy of Venus and Libra in particular, Libra is the ruler of the seventh house in astrology. Now, marriage and partnerships and contracts are all of the things that the seventh house governs. So therefore, there is going to be a focus around either business partnerships for some of us, or around sort of attracting ideal relationships, in order to create the balance that we want, whether there is an imbalance within our romantic life, not necessarily being where we want within a relationship, or being able to have the relationship we desire, or being where we want within our finances, within our career, within our pursuits of our jobs or our businesses. Now, the moon is the feminine energy, and it's very significant that the fact that we've got the moon being placed in Aries at 9 degrees. This for me is going to be a focus with us having to confront and face and release and remove hidden or repressed emotions, particularly emotions like anger and aggression, which is the shadow aspects of Aries. This is going to be a very healing energy that we're going to be experiencing from this full moon, simply because of the fact that it's amplified due to the Mars retrograde energy. And Mars is going to be retrograde in Aries until November the 13th. Now, what I'm also seeing is that because of the fact that we've got this Mars retrograde, which is forcing us to come to a pause or a standstill, to slow down, to essentially go within, to have contemplation and a time of restoration and healing, there may be some energies that we're going to be experiencing that will be lower vibrational energies that we are being forced to confront. So some of us may be feeling less confident than usual. Some of us might be lacking drive. Some of us may be feeling quite frustrated because we're not able to move forward towards what it is that we want. And the reason why I say this is because Mars as a planet is also known as the god of war. So when we're seeing this energy being slowed down, there's going to be a lot of frustration. Now, the first sort of significant astrological aspect that we need to talk about is the moon conjunct Chiron. Now, Chiron is known as the wounded healer, and the moon is the divine feminine energy, which represents our not only connection to our intuition, but also our emotions, hidden emotions. So with the moon conjunct Chiron, this is going to make us feel more empowered and confident to release those repressed and hidden emotions deep within our psyche. And Chiron is supporting us in allowing us to uncover these deep-seated emotions for revelation and for healing. The second astrological aspect that is going to be quite significant during this full moon period is the Sun quincunx Uranus. Now, Uranus is the planet that governs the zodiac sign of Aquarius, and Uranus is all about freedom. It's about moving forward. It's about doing things in a new way because it represents innovation. It represents technology, it represents paradigm shifts, and it also represents pioneering. So with the sun being quincunx Uranus, we are being encouraged to remove the notions of what is considered good or bad, and instead we're stepping forward into a time in which we are being invited to embrace our individuality and embrace our authenticity by departing from outdated societal norms. Now, this aspect is going to reveal the truest version of ourselves. So this for me represents almost like the last pinnacle of this year of deep-seated healing before we start to see either blessings for those of us that have done the work, or lessons for those of us that have failed to do the work within a timely fashion. The next astrological aspect is Mars square Saturn. Now, Saturn is known as the father of time, and it's also known as the celestial taskmaster. Saturn is the natural ruler of the zodiac sign of Capricorn, which deals with the element of Earth. Now, the fact that we've got Mars square Saturn means that there is a challenge. There is a need for us to be able to take action and to move forward by asserting our energy into that which we seek. Saturn is the planet of authority, so it deals with things such as discipline and boundaries and restriction. And by having this particular aspect, it's really forcing us to come to a pause, come to a standstill, and rest in order to connect with ourselves and have a time of reflection. Now, this is going to reveal emotions such as frustration, possibly anger due to the inability of us being able to move forward, particularly those that are already engaged in projects, businesses, and work related aspects. So it may be that we're slowing down at this time. We need to be very mindful with this particular astrological aspect of being quite offensive. We need to be feeling more defensive. So if we are dealing with any type of conflict internally, what we're being invited to do is channel this energy in a creative outlet by doing the things that we enjoy the most as a form of creative expression. So it might be really a time for you to, if you're a writer, sit down and write or journal. Create a piece of art, create a piece of music. Try and find another outlet in order to release that particular energy of frustration and transmute that into something more positive and more productive. For some of us, that may mean that we're tapping into or rediscovering talents and gifts that we possibly haven't used for a very long time, which may create other opportunities for us to capitalize on in terms of the pursuit of business or entrepreneurship. Now, one of the other aspects that's really significant during this full moon is Mars square Jupiter. Now, with Mars squaring Jupiter, Jupiter is the planet that governs growth, and it governs luck, and it governs expansion. And Jupiter is the ruler of the zodiac sign Sagittarius, which represents, again, the element of fire. So with this particular astrological aspect, we may be feeling quite empowered or courageous and brave, feeling like we've got the strength to be able to confront anything, including those that may be in opposition of our ideas, our goals, or our projects. Now, this energy it's really important that with this energy we temper it in a way that avoids things such as aggression or feeling combative, and instead take more of a defensive approach rather than an impulsive approach. And that concludes the main astrological aspects that we will be experiencing during this full moon. I will now proceed on to the second half, in which I pull some cards so that we can see what the overall energies are, and then I will be concluding with a ritual that we can do to harness the energy of this full moon. I am using the Moonology deck. I will also be using the Tarot Made Easy deck by Barbara Moore, and closing out the reading with the Sacred Self-Care Oracle. So the first card that we've got is Disseminating Moon. Take time to breathe out. The second card that we've got is the Supermoon. Emotions are running high. The third card that we have is Conclusions Are Within Reach, Full Moon Eclipse. And I'll pull one more last card. and we have new moon in Taurus, prosperity lies ahead. What's really ironic with this card coming out is that we will be experiencing not only one but two full moons, and the next full moon that we'll be experiencing will be in the month of October, and it will be in the sign of Taurus. Beautiful. So let's have a look at the bottom of the deck energy. So the bottom of the deck energy is full moon in Pisces, balance, spirituality, and practicality. For me, this is talking about the fact that this particular full moon is one in which we are recreating balance by removing things that no longer serve us. So we're removing anything that may be an obstacle or a challenge in order to gain a deeper insight into ourselves on a spiritual, emotional, and material level. So we're removing anything that's providing any kind of obstacle in pursuit of having this balance within our life in all areas and all aspects. Libra, the sun sign that we're currently experiencing now, is all about creating balance in all areas of life. So for me, this is very much in keeping with the energy. So the first card that we have is Take Time to Breathe Out, Disseminating Moon. This is talking about the fact that we are going to be experiencing a time of challenge, a challenge of our emotions, a challenge of our behaviors, and a challenge of our thoughts. Despite the fact that some of us may be experiencing turmoil internally, what we are needing to do is release that energy, but not necessarily take on the shadow aspects of that energy. So not staying in that energy, making sure that we are doing what we can to shift it. Some of us may be feeling quite frustrated because of the fact that we're not able to move forward with certain business ideas, projects, and ventures that we have already started. Some of us may be feeling quite frustrated because of the fact that there may be some sort of material instability that we may be experiencing due to the economic sort of climate that we're going through. We're actually experiencing a global economic recession, which means that some people are in situations where their jobs are no longer guaranteed, or some people have actually lost their jobs. So there may be a time of frustration simply because of the fact that we are not able to move forward. But what we need to do is ensure that we are using the time that we have whilst Mars is in retrograde and slowing down to go within, to meditate, to be able to practice mindfulness, to be able to rest if we need to rest, to be able to channel the energy in a more creative and positive way, because that is how we transmute the negative energy and the shadow aspects of Aries. What I'm seeing for emotions are running high is literally some of us are going to be feeling at wit's end. We're going to be feeling quite angry. We might be feeling quite frustrated. We might be feeling quite combative. And it's really important to understand that even though our emotions are running high, it's a time for us to be able to let go, to release, to surrender to the divine, to surrender to spirit, to understand that everything that we're experiencing at this particular time is there for healing, for purification, so that we can rejuvenate ourselves and renew ourselves, so that we can prepare ourselves for the next stage, which promises to be more fruitful than the last stage that we have just entered. Because I feel like this represents a climax. Emotions running high with conclusions are within reach represents a climax. It represents everything coming to a head or coming to a standstill. But this is going to be a very positive full moon if we understand how we harness these particular energies. If you feel that you're getting into a point where you're feeling angry or you're feeling aggressive, then do something to be able to shift the energy. Do some exercise, do some dancing, go for a run, go for a swim if you're able to go for a swim. Write about how you're feeling. Watch a film. Pamper yourself, have a lovely bath, put a face mask on, do whatever you need to in order to revive yourself and also to bring yourself into a very peaceful and tranquil meditative state. Try not to allow external things to bother you, and understand that everything that you're going through is designed for you to elevate yourself materially, emotionally, and also spiritually. Conclusions are within reach. So we're going to look at prosperity lies ahead. So essentially what I'm seeing from this is that by understanding that the emotions that we are holding on to these hidden emotions, these repressed emotions, once they have been released, once they have been transmuted and turned into positive energy, because we can channel this energy creatively, what we're going to discover is this is going to open up the sort of avenue of abundance towards us, because we're being told with this new moon in Taurus that prosperity lies ahead. So this essentially means that whatever difficulties that we may be going through within the context of business, within the context of employment, within the context of even relationships, we need to understand that this is temporary and it won't last forever, because what we're promised at the end of doing the work by actually working on releasing these emotions is that we're going to be able to tap into an energy of abundance, is what I'm seeing. So this is absolutely beautiful. So what we're going to see is that once the retrograde energy in particular starts to come to an end, all of the businesses, all of the projects that have come to a pause or a standstill will then start to galvanize more momentum and move forward after this period of time. And definitely, we might start to see a little bit of movement after the full moon, but it won't necessarily be significant until Mars is out of the retrograde stage. What I'm going to do in order to give us greater depth and greater clarity, I'm actually going to pull some tarot cards to confirm the messages that we've got from the Moonology deck. So why is disseminating moon here, please, Spirit? So we've got the Ace of Wands. Why is the Ace of Wands here, please? And we've got the Ten of Swords. Beautiful. Let me have a look at the bottom of the deck. So we have the Eight of Wands. 8 represents action. It represents movement. It represents attainment. It represents abundance. Wands represents the element of fire. So we're talking about the zodiac signs of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So for me, this represents that there will be some fast-paced communication or some fast-paced movement that will be coming towards us as a result of being able to rest. Now, I'm going to talk about what these two cards mean in the context of the Eight of Wands at the bottom of the deck energy. So we have the Ace. The Ace of Wands represents a divinely guided new beginning. This is an opportunity that we are being presented with at this time. Now, Wands, when we're looking at the suit, represents action. It represents creativity. It represents doing the things that give you the most amount of joy and happiness, the things that you are passionate about, because the Wand suit represents the element of fire. So we're dealing with matters of the heart, goals, emotions. Now, what I'm seeing here with the Ten of Swords, 10 within numerology represents coming to an end of a cycle. Swords represents the element of air, and we're talking about the zodiac signs of Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. So for me, this is the end of a cycle which may have been burdensome, painful, one that may have caused us to feel hurt, emotionally hurt, financially hurt, one that may have had us conflicted, one that has essentially released something from us. Because when I see the Ten of Swords, it doesn't only represent the end of a cycle, but it can represent separation and betrayal. So we're freeing ourselves by taking the time to breathe out. We're freeing ourselves from the old cycle, and with this one being here, it represents the energy of a new beginning. So with every ending, there is a beginning. So there is a new opportunity that we can capitalize on if we are using the energy in the most constructive and positive of ways. What I'm seeing is that we're going to have to be more creative for those of us that are going through financial situations where we may have lost a job. We're going to have to be more creative in the way in which we are making money. We may need to use our creativity as an outlet for our self-expression, at our maybe contempt at the way in which we have experienced certain hardships or certain lessons. What I'm also seeing as well is that actually this may be a way of us being able to rediscover hidden talents, gifts, and abilities that we may be able to capitalize on at a later date. So this is absolutely beautiful. What I'm going to do now is I will confirm the supermoon card. Why is the supermoon here? Okay, so we have, beautiful. We've got the King of Pentacles, and we have, which has come out on the side, so I'm going to put it upright, the 10 of Wands. Bottom of the deck energy, we've got the Queen of Cups. Now, the Queen of Cups represents the element of water, so we're talking about the zodiac signs of Pisces, Scorpio, and also Cancer. When I'm seeing this card, I feel like the Queen of Cups is here for us to be able to open ourselves up, be open to spirit, be open to releasing our emotions in order for a deeper level of healing. So for me, it's a confirmation of the emotions that are running high and the need for us to release ourselves from these emotions in order to move forward. Again, with the 10 of Wands that has come out, 10 is a very karmic number. So it represents the end of a cycle closing out. And this is a confirmation of the 10 of Swords. Now, the Wands represent something that is physical and something that is tangible. The Wands also represents passions. It represents the energy of creativity. What I'm actually seeing here is that by letting go of the old, which is, for me, this represents the emotions here. By letting go of old repressed emotions, we are closing out this cycle. And what we're needing to do is learn the lessons from those emotions that we repressed. Find out why we got to that point. Get to the root cause in order to learn the lesson so that we sort of climb to a higher sense of consciousness by evolving simply by looking back retrospectively with a more critical view on our emotions and our behaviors. And I see that we're going to be successful in doing that simply because of the fact that we've got the King of Pentacles. Now, the King of Pentacles coupled with the 10 of Wands represents a successful outcome. It represents being able to move into a time of growth and move into a time of expansion materially. So this may mean by allowing the old to come to an end and not resisting these changes, that we will be materially blessed, because maybe some of us that were in particular jobs that wasn't necessarily conducive to our highest vibrational goods, or wasn't necessarily paying what it is that we deserved, or presented an obstacle from us being able to achieve or move towards what it is that we seek and we desire, it's going to create an opportunity for us to be able to have more. So it may mean that we're going to be able to have a new job, possibly a new business, something in which you're in a position of authority or leadership, because we've got the red here and we've got the purple, which are quite royal and regal colors. For me, this is absolutely beautiful. And it's also a nod to the Taurian energy, because we've got the bull represented on the throne of the King of Pentacles. Now, this also confirms the new moon in Taurus, where it says prosperity lies ahead. So for me, there is a nod to say that actually once we experience this full moon energy, by letting go of the old and being prepared to be open to spirit, surrendering to spirit in order to embrace the new, that we're going to be given blessings as a result of it. And what I'm seeing is, for those of you that were in situations within the context of a relationship in which the relationship was not necessarily for your highest vibrational good, by letting go of this old relationship that has run its course, that is outdated, that is no longer resonating with you or putting you in alignment with what it is that you desire, you're going to be blessed with something even better, because prosperity lies ahead. Abundance is not just in terms of what we can have in a monetary sense. Abundance could be an abundance of love, and this could be an abundance of love in a romantic sense. So we are going to now confirm the full moon eclipse. Why is the full moon eclipse here? Whoops. Why is the full moon eclipse here? We've got the Chariot. Why is the Chariot here? And we've got the Five of Cups. Beautiful. Let's have a look at the bottom of the deck energy. Ooh, so we have the Ace of Pentacles. So now we have two aces on the board. We've got the Ace of Wands and we now have the Ace of Pentacles. Now, the Ace of Pentacles is a divinely guided new opportunity, one in which we can capitalize off of, one that could be a new job. It could be a new business. It could be an investment in a business idea that you've had, something that is going to contribute towards the material security and stability of your life. And again, this is a confirmation of the King of Pentacles, which is talking about having an abundance. It's about prosperity, and it's also about success. So I definitely feel that even though there will be challenges that we will be experiencing, we need to understand what the end goal is and keep our eyes on the prize. So look at the bigger picture, so to speak. Okay, so we have conclusions that are in reach. The Chariot card is really interesting here, simply because of the fact that it's number 7 in the major arcana. And 7 within numerology is all about us connecting to our higher consciousness, connecting to that crown chakra energy. 7 is also a number of spiritual enlightenment or a spiritual awakening. So it's beginning to move by allowing spirit to direct you to where you're supposed to be. So this is also about not only fast-paced movement forward, but also surrendering to spirit and allowing spirit to guide you. The Chariot is also representative of the element of water. It represents the zodiac sign of Cancer and is ruled by the moon. Now, this is all about our divine feminine energy. The moon represents the emotions that we might have hidden or repressed, but it also represents connecting to our intuition. So for me, what I'm seeing with this Chariot card is that we're being told that conclusions are within reach and that we need to trust spirit on this new journey that we're embarking on. We need to surrender to spirit. We need to allow spirit to guide us to where we need to be and listen to our intuition and pay attention to the signs, symbols, and synchronicities that are guiding us through this full moon. What I'm also seeing with the 5 of cups again, we've got water energy here. The zodiac signs of Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. The 5 is talking about a time of change and transformation, a time of transition. For some of you, this represents a loss. So this could be a financial loss in which you may have lost a job or possibly lost a business, or this could even be an emotional loss that some of us are faced with, in which we may have lost a romantic partnership. But what I'm seeing is that there are still 2 cups remaining behind this man's back. The 2 cups for me is symbolic of hope. It's symbolic of a new opportunity, but us not being able to see things from a bigger picture simply because we're focused on what we've lost and not what we still have. So we must remain in the energy of gratitude. We must be humble. We must be open, and we must understand that with every ending, there is a new beginning, and there is a promise for something even better than what we had before. So therefore, with these conclusions that are within reach, they are realigning us and readjusting us so that we can start to experience what it is that we've always wanted to experience within our financial life, or even within the context of our business or career. So I am going to be pulling for the new moon in Taurus. Bear with me. Why is the new moon in Taurus here, please, Spirit? We've got the Page of Cups. Why is the Page of Cups here, please? And we've got the 2 of Pentacles. Let's have a look at the bottom of the deck energy. We have the moon. So for me, this is about paying attention to the signs, the symbols, the synchronicities, paying attention to your dreams, listening to your intuition, surrendering and submitting to spirit, allowing any kind of deep-seated emotions to be revealed and also healed. I definitely feel like there's going to be a revelation around the full moon, either on the full moon or after the full moon. There'll be some sort of revelation, but I feel like this is going to be something that's going to encourage us. This is going to be something that's quite positive. For some of us, it's going to be possibly a romantic partner that wants to step forward and possibly declare emotions of love towards us. For others of us, what I'm seeing is that this full moon is going to be a revelation for a new beginning or a new opportunity within the context of business. Now, The reason why I feel that it may be within the context of business is because we've got the Page of Cups here and we've also got the Two of Pentacles. Now, the pages represent something that is new, something that is in its infancy stage, something that is immature. So there is a brand new offer or opportunity that's on the table for us within the context of business. And I also feel that this is going to be something that is creative. I do feel that this is going to be a partnership or a collaboration in which you're going